There is a wealth of abundance waiting to pour into your life, yet many unknowingly fight against it. To receive what is already yours, you must first become aware of how you are resisting. Every thought, every feeling, every moment of doubt reveals the inner battle between your divine inheritance and your self-imposed limitations. When you second-guess your desires, questioning whether they are possible or whether you are worthy, you resist the flow of your good. Doubt is a declaration that you trust in the seen more than the unseen. Abundance comes when you know beyond all appearances that it is already done. Listen to your words, for they are the seeds of your world. Each time you speak of what you lack, each complaint, each fearful story, you fight against your abundance. Your imagination hears these words and molds your reality accordingly. To shift, you must speak from a place of fulfillment, even when the outer world does not yet reflect it. Consider how often you dwell in worry. Worry is the mind's way of creating obstacles where there are none. It is faith misplaced. Instead of trusting the process, you create barriers with every fearful thought. Let go of the need to control and trust that divine timing is always perfect. If you find yourself clinging to past hurts, stories of failure, or beliefs that no longer serve you, know this: you are holding the door shut on the new. Abundance cannot enter a mind preoccupied with lack. Release the old stories and rewrite them in your imagination. See yourself as victorious, abundant, and free. Gratitude is the key that unlocks every door. Yet when it is absent, you create a barrier. True gratitude is not a forced practice, but a natural state of being. When you feel it deeply, you align with the frequency of having, and the universe mirrors this back to you. Fear of change is another subtle way you resist. You cling to the known even when it limits you, because stepping into abundance requires leaving behind the comfort of familiarity. Trust that every shift is orchestrated for your highest good. Embrace the unknown with faith. When you compare yourself to others, you declare that abundance is limited, that someone else's gain is your loss. This belief is false. Abundance is infinite, and it flows to you effortlessly when you focus inward. Turn your attention away from others and back to your own imagination, where creation begins. Effort is another form of resistance. When you try too hard, you tell the universe that you do not trust its power to work on your behalf. Abundance comes not from struggle, but from surrender. Surrender to the truth that your desires are already fulfilled in consciousness. Finally, notice when you ignore the whispers of your intuition. Your higher self knows the path to abundance, yet when you doubt or dismiss its guidance, you veer off course. Trust the inner voice that nudges you toward inspired action. It is always leading you toward the fulfillment of your desires. Abundance is your birthright. Stop fighting it. Rest in the knowing that it is already done. The moment you align your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs with the reality of having, the fight will cease and the floodgates will open. All that you desire is waiting for your surrender. Resistance stems from identifying with lack instead of plenty. This is one of the most profound yet subtle truths about the human experience. When you identify with lack, you are not merely observing scarcity in your external world, you are embodying it. You claim it as your identity. You say, "This is who I am, and this is my reality," and as Neville Goddard teaches, the state you occupy in consciousness is the state that manifests in your world. To identify with lack is to focus on what you do not have, to dwell on what seems missing, and to build your self-concept around limitation. This resistance is often unconscious. You may say, "I want abundance," but within you feel unworthy, doubtful, or incomplete. You may visualize wealth, love, or success, but deep inside, your dominant feeling is one of separation from these things. Consider this: when you say, "I need more money," where is your attention? It is on the absence of money. When you think, "I am waiting for love," where are you focused? On the lack of love. This identification with lack creates resistance because it reinforces the belief that your desire is not yet yours. And as long as you hold that belief, you will continue to create experiences that reflect it. Neville taught that abundance is not something you chase or even achieve, it is something you realize. It is already present, waiting for you to claim it. But to do so, you must shift your identity. Stop seeing yourself as someone who is striving, someone who is incomplete. Instead, Assume the feeling of being the person who already has what you desire. When you identify with plenty, your thoughts, feelings, and actions begin to align with that state, dissolving resistance effortlessly. Resistance only exists in the gap between what you want and what you believe. By identifying with lack, you widen that gap. But when you assume the state of abundance, when you claim it as your truth, the gap disappears. There is no longer something to get because you already embody it. This is the secret to dissolving resistance, shifting your focus from absence to presence, from need to fulfillment, from lack to plenty. Your reality does not respond to what you wish for, it responds to what you are. And so to eliminate resistance, you must ask yourself, who am I being in this moment? Am I identifying with lack, or am I claiming my abundance? Doubt in the unseen delays manifestation because it disrupts the natural flow of creation. Neville Goddard emphasized that the unseen, the world of imagination, consciousness, and belief, is the true reality, the origin of all things. When you doubt the unseen, you question the very foundation of creation, and this hesitation reflects as delay in your external world. Doubt arises when you place more trust in the evidence of your senses than in the power of your imagination. You look at what is rather than what could be. You say, I don't see any changes, so maybe it's not working. But this attitude denies the truth that everything begins in the invisible realm. The seed planted in consciousness must first grow beneath the surface before it becomes visible. Your doubt is like digging up the seed to check if it is growing. When you doubt, you disconnect from the state of fulfillment. You oscillate between belief and disbelief, creating confusion in your inner world. This inner conflict mirrors outwardly as stagnation. The process of manifestation relies on unwavering faith in the unseen, on holding the vision steadfastly despite appearances. Doubt interrupts this process by introducing contradictory feelings and assumptions, which the universe reflects back to you as delay or lack of results. Neville often spoke of the importance of living in the end where you feel as though your desire is already fulfilled. Doubt prevents this by keeping you tethered to the present circumstances, to the idea that it hasn't happened yet. Instead of dwelling in the joy of having, you dwell in the frustration of waiting. This waiting creates resistance, because you are no longer embodying the state of the wish fulfilled. Doubt also arises from a lack of understanding of your creative power. You may believe that external forces, luck, effort, or other people are responsible for your outcomes. This belief fosters uncertainty because it places your power outside of you. But when you recognize that you are the operant power, that your imagination shapes reality, doubt loses its grip. You begin to trust the unseen because you understand it is the unseen that governs the seen. To move past doubt, you must develop inner conviction. This conviction is not about seeing proof, it is about feeling the truth within you. The unseen is always at work, even when there is no outward evidence. Just as a tree grows roots before it sprouts leaves, your desire is unfolding in the unseen before it appears in your world. Trust in this process, and doubt will have no place to take root. When you trust fully in the unseen, you align yourself with the reality of your desire. This alignment dissolves delay because it eliminates resistance. The moment you stop doubting and start believing, the unseen begins to crystallize into form. Faith in the unseen is not just a principle, it is the bridge between imagination and reality. Negative self-talk disrupts the flow of creation because it reinforces the very state of being you wish to change. Neville Goddard often reminded us that the words we speak to ourselves are far more powerful than those we speak aloud. Your inner dialogue is the blueprint from which your reality is shaped. Each word, each phrase carries an energy, a vibration, that is mirrored back to you through your circumstances. When you engage in negative self-talk, you are essentially programming your imagination with ideas of limitation, fear, and lack. You might not even realize it, but phrases like, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, or things never work out for me are declarations to the universe. They are affirmations not of what you want, but of what you fear. And because the subconscious mind accepts whatever it is repeatedly told, it begins to manifest these ideas into your reality. Negative self-talk blocks creation by pulling your focus toward the undesired. Instead of dwelling in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you dwell in the feeling of frustration, inadequacy, or defeat. This creates a misalignment between your desires and your state of being. The flow of creation, which is naturally effortless, becomes tangled in the resistance you've created through your inner words. Consider the subtle yet profound effect of saying, "I'll never be successful." This statement does more than express a fleeting doubt. It solidifies an identity of failure within you. Your imagination takes this identity and shapes your reality to match it. Every opportunity, every possibility begins to conform to this inner declaration, not because the universe is unkind, but because it responds perfectly to the state you occupy. Negative self-talk also undermines the energy of your intentions. Even if you visualize abundance or love, if your inner dialogue contradicts those images, the flow of creation is interrupted. Imagine trying to fill a vessel with water while poking holes in it at the same time. That is what happens when your affirmations and visualizations are overshadowed by self-criticism or doubt. The energy dissipates, and the results appear delayed or non-existent. Neville taught that the key to creation lies in assuming the state of the wish fulfilled. But how can you assume that state if your inner voice constantly pulls you into the opposite? Negative self-talk keeps you trapped in the old story, the version of yourself that struggles, doubts, or fears. To create a new reality, you must first create a new inner conversation. Your self-talk shapes not only your beliefs but also your emotions. Each negative word triggers feelings of inadequacy, frustration, or sadness. These feelings then become the vibrations you send out into the world. The flow of creation responds to these vibrations, echoing them back to you in the form of circumstances that match. Thus, negative self-talk perpetuates a cycle of resistance, keeping you stuck in the very reality you wish to change. If you catch yourself engaging in negative self-talk, understand that it is not harmless. It is a powerful act of creation in the wrong direction. Every time you criticize yourself, you are reinforcing the idea that you are not enough, that your desires are out of reach. To shift this, you must become conscious of your inner dialogue and deliberately guide it toward the fulfillment of your desires. Only then can the flow of creation move freely, without interruption. Worry signals a disbelief in divine timing because it reveals a lack of trust in the natural order and perfection of the universe. Neville Goddard taught that every desire, when imagined and felt as fulfilled, sets in motion an unseen process that leads to its realization. However, worry interrupts this process, creating resistance and delaying manifestation. Worry arises from the mistaken belief that you must control every aspect of how and when your desire will materialize. When you worry, you are essentially saying to yourself and to the universe, "I don't trust that this is unfolding as it should." You doubt that the unseen forces, the divine intelligence that orchestrates all creation, are working on your behalf. Instead of resting in the assurance that all is well, you become preoccupied with thoughts of what if? What if it doesn't happen? What if I'm doing something wrong? What if the timing is off? These questions anchor you in fear and uncertainty, pulling you out of the state of fulfillment that is necessary for manifestation. Worry keeps you focused on the gap between where you are and where you want to be. It magnifies the feeling of waiting, which in itself is a form of resistance. Neville often spoke of the importance of living in the end. But worry drags you back to the present moment, highlighting the lack of evidence for your desire. This creates a dissonance between your imagined reality and your emotional state, causing the manifestation process to stall. Furthermore, worry drains your creative energy. Instead of using your imagination to dwell on the wish fulfilled, you use it to create scenarios of failure, disappointment, or delay. Your mind, being a powerful tool, begins to shape these imagined outcomes into reality. The very thing you fear becomes more likely, not because it is destined to happen, but because you have given it so much of your focus and energy. Divine timing is always perfect, even when it doesn't align with your personal expectations. Worry, however, stems from the ego's need for control and immediacy. The ego struggles with the idea that there is a greater intelligence at work, one that operates beyond the limits of human understanding. When you trust in divine timing, you release the need to know how or when your desire will come. You simply rest in the knowing that it is already done in consciousness and will appear in the most harmonious way. Worry also disconnects you from the present moment, which is where the power of creation truly resides. Instead of enjoying the unfolding journey, you become fixated on the outcome. This fixation blinds you to the signs, synchronicities, and inspired actions that the universe provides along the way. These are the breadcrumbs that lead you to your desire, but when you are consumed by worry, you often miss them. At its core, worry is an act of mistrust not only in divine timing but in yourself as the creator of your reality. It is a declaration that you believe in obstacles more than possibilities, in delays more than flow, in fear more than faith. To move beyond worry, you must cultivate a deep inner conviction that all things are working together for your good. This conviction allows you to release the need to control, to surrender to the process, and to rest in the assurance that your desire is on its way. Holding on to old stories blocks new realities because it anchors you to a version of yourself and your world that no longer serves your growth or desires. Neville Goddard emphasized that creation begins within consciousness, and the state you consistently occupy determines the reality you experience. Old stories, those repetitive narratives you tell yourself about who you are, what you can or cannot achieve, and how the world responds to you, shape your present and future if left unchecked. These stories are powerful because they are rooted in past experiences that you've accepted as truth. You might say, "I've always struggled with money," or "relationships never work out for me," or "this is just the way things are." These statements become self-fulfilling prophecies because your subconscious mind takes them as commands. It continuously recreates situations that validate these beliefs, reinforcing the cycle of limitation. When you hold on to old stories, you are essentially living in the past while hoping for a different future. This creates a conflict in consciousness. You may visualize abundance or joy, but if your inner dialogue keeps returning to tales of lack, failure, or disappointment, you are not aligning with the new reality you wish to create. The energy of the old story dominates, blocking the flow of new possibilities. Old stories also carry emotional weight. They often come with feelings of regret, guilt, resentment, or fear. These emotions act as energetic barriers, keeping you tethered to the past. For instance, if you continue to dwell on a failed business or relationship, the pain and disappointment of that experience color your present and future interactions. You unconsciously project those emotions onto new opportunities, sabotaging them before they have a chance to unfold. Neville taught that the key to transformation lies in assuming the state of the wish fulfilled. To do this, you must let go of the identity tied to your old stories. If you see yourself as someone who is always struggling, you will continue to manifest struggle, no matter how much effort you put into changing your circumstances. Letting go means releasing not only the story itself, but also the feelings, assumptions, and beliefs that keep it alive. The old story blocks new realities because it occupies space in your consciousness that could be used to imagine and embody something better. It's like trying to write a new chapter while refusing to turn the page. Your consciousness cannot hold conflicting states simultaneously. You cannot be both abundant and lacking, both loved and rejected, both confident and insecure. The state you choose to dwell in determines the experiences that unfold. To release old stories, you must become aware of them. Pay attention to the narratives you repeat to yourself and ask, is this story empowering me or limiting me? Is it helping me create the life I want? Once you identify an old story, deliberately replace it with a new one. Begin to affirm and imagine a reality where you are the person you desire to be, where the old limitations no longer exist. Letting go of old stories is not about denying your past, it's about no longer letting it define you. You are not bound by what happened before, unless you choose to be. Creation happens in the present moment, and the moment you decide to rewrite your inner narrative, you open the door to new realities. By releasing the grip of the old, you make room for the new to flow effortlessly into your life. Gratitude is replaced with entitlement or impatience when you shift your focus from appreciation for what is to frustration over what hasn't yet arrived. Neville Goddard often emphasized the importance of embodying the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and gratitude is a natural byproduct of this state. Gratitude aligns you with the energy of abundance, signaling to the universe that you are in harmony with your desires. However, when gratitude fades and is replaced with entitlement or impatience, you disrupt this alignment and create resistance. Entitlement emerges when you begin to feel that the universe owes you something. Instead of appreciating the process of manifestation and the signs of progress along the way, you may think, why isn't this here already? I deserve this. This mindset, while seemingly assertive, is rooted in lack rather than abundance. It suggests that you are fixated on the absence of your desire rather than the fulfillment of it. Entitlement keeps you focused on what you don't have, which perpetuates a state of dissatisfaction and delay. Impatience, on the other hand, reflects a mistrust in divine timing. You begin to question the process, asking, when will it happen? Why is it taking so long? These questions, though natural, carry an energy of doubt. They suggest that you don't believe your desire is unfolding in the best possible way or at the right time. Impatience pulls you out of the state of the wish fulfilled and into the state of waiting, a state that tells the universe you are not yet living in the reality you seek. Both entitlement and impatience create an emotional disconnect from gratitude, which is the key to sustaining the flow of creation. Gratitude is powerful because it acknowledges the good that already exists in your life and aligns you with the feeling of having. It reinforces the belief that abundance is your natural state and that more is always on its way. When gratitude is replaced with entitlement or impatience, you lose this alignment and begin to feel separate from your desires. Neville taught that feeling precedes manifestation, and gratitude is one of the highest vibrations you can embody. It is an acknowledgement of the perfection of the present moment and the certainty of the fulfillment to come. Entitlement and impatience, however, come from a place of fear that your desires may not manifest, fear that you are running out of time, or fear that the process is out of your control. This fear creates resistance, making the manifestation process feel difficult or stalled. The shift from gratitude to entitlement or impatience also reveals a lack of self-awareness. It is a sign that you are becoming more focused on external circumstances than on your internal state. Gratitude is a deeply internal practice. It is about cultivating a feeling of abundance and joy within, regardless of what is happening around you. Entitlement and impatience, by contrast, are externally driven, tied to the idea that your happiness depends on the arrival of specific outcomes. When you replace gratitude with entitlement or impatience, you also close yourself off from the small miracles and signs that the universe is constantly offering. Gratitude keeps you attuned to these moments, helping you recognize and celebrate the evidence of your desires taking shape. Entitlement and impatience blind you to these signs, making it feel as though nothing is happening, even when the universe is actively working on your behalf.